Hi, this is Ross Nova. So, more information has come out about the shooting that took place this morning on a Saturday morning. I've been very patient with this information. Now, the news about to be shared or talked about, right? The stuff that's coming out, it's still partial information. It's not the full story yet. So as we hear the Border Patrol agents discussing what has happened, we'll see what Trump has posted, and we'll hopefully hear from the governor of Minnesota as well too, as we skip forward a few times. But I've been very, very on top of this and saying continuously, consistently, to be patient and wait. I have raised a number of questions in one of the videos that I have not posted yet. The very first video is still probably trying to be posted. It's an hour plus long, so it may take a little longer for it to post. But in that video, in a couple of videos, I have talked about how a person with a permit to carry is out on the streets. It just did not make sense, in my eyes, right? There's no law against you not having a firearm with you, but when you approach an agent, right, impeding and having a firearm, it's a very bad mixed drink, right? It is not good. But hey, let's just I have been kind of keeping on the protest. It has doubled, tripled. We're probably close to 1,000 people on the streets already very quickly. And I think the sheriffs have taken over, but I think they have left the situation because it's gotten too big. It is getting out of control, but let's hear what more information we have coming in.
Exercise your First Amendment rights, but now we have video here. Is this happening? Is this a live? Okay, this is a live picture. Is this where Sammy is? Okay, so.
Give it a second here. Uh-oh.
Chief for our area.
Here we go.
Bovino. He's going to talk about this shooting.
Patrol and Customs and Border Protection here in Minneapolis. Some of those brave men and women of Border Patrol and Department of Homeland Security law enforcement join me here today to show support for all federal law enforcement who have been under constant attack in Minneapolis for weeks now.
Very true. Constant. Nonstop.
At 9:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, as DHS law enforcement officers were conducting a targeted operation in Minneapolis against an illegal alien, Jose Huerta Chuma. You can see this illegal alien on the screen to my left and right. That is Jose Huerta.
This is a targeted operation.
Includes domestic assault to intentionally inflict bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license. During this operation, an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol agents with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The agents attempted to disarm the individual, but he violently resisted. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, a Border Patrol agent fired defensive shots. Medics on the scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation.
So also had 2 additional loaded magazines beside the one in his firearm. So he had 3 total magazines, fully loaded, 14 rounds apiece, 15, 16, depends on what size the magazines were. He's just giving you a snapshot, okay? It's not the full story, okay? Because the full story would be a lot more detailed, right? Where was the agent standing? You know, where was the other agent standing? How do you approach? There's a lot of information that's still missing, but this is a lot more information than an hour ago, right? That's why we have to be very patient. And once he's finished, 2 hours from now, there will even be more information, right? There'll be more videos popping up for you to even see for yourself as well too, because there are actually multiple videos from different angles to show the incident. So we have to be very patient and let the facts come out. We cannot rush to judgment. We can't, assume things and rally up the protesters like Walz and Mayor Frey, right? Both have not been helpful. And even Amy Klobuchar has not been helpful in this incident. We should be calling for peace, calm, patience, and wait for information to come out. In today's time, information travels very quick, within hours or within an hour or 2 or even 3, maybe 4 hours, information comes out very quickly compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So we have to be patient. I do apologize. I'll continue playing.
Where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. Then,
I'm sorry. We don't know exactly. They assume with 3 fully loaded magazines, no ID, we assume, okay? It's not written in stone, right? They'll have to investigate this guy. They have to go into his home. They have to go through his phone and see what his plan was. Was he able to talk to other people about his plan? Who else knew about this? Was he there to actually harm, or was he there just to observe? We don't know the full story yet, okay? We just, there's assumptions going on right here, okay? But at the same time, we have to keep an open mind and just hear out the information.
200 rioters arrived at the scene and began to obstruct and assault law enforcement. Crowd control measures have been deployed for the safety of the public and law enforcement. This situation is evolving and more information is forthcoming.
Yes.
The officer was highly trained and had been serving as a Border Patrol agent for 8 years. The officer has extended
8 years. So this isn't some amateur like Mayor Frey has mentioned in one of his, either Mayor Frey or Klobuchar, untrained agents is what they texted on X. 8 years, and he has training, and he is also a certified trainer as well.
Training as a range safety officer.
Range safety officer.
Less lethal officer. As mentioned, this is only the latest attack on law enforcement. Across the country, the men and women of DHS have been attacked, shot at, doxxed, had their family members threatened. And, as we have seen more than 100 vehicle rammings over the past year against federal law enforcement. We will not allow violence against our law enforcement officers, and we need state and local help.
Yes.
State and local law enforcement to help us coordinate to get violent criminals off the street. And
the sheriffs are working with ICE agents and Border Patrol agents. So they are working together. But we need more of that, and we need law enforcement as well. We need all of them working together.
Mayor Frey and Chief O'Hare just a few minutes ago did the opposite of that by omitting the fact that the suspect had a gun and magazines full of ammunition. in what looks like a situation, again, where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. I want to reiterate what President Donald Trump, Secretary Kristi Noem, myself, Director Marcos Charles, and so many others have said time and again. If you obstruct a law enforcement officer or assault a law enforcement officer, you are in violation of the law and will be arrested.
Yes.
Our law enforcement officers take an oath to protect the public.
Protect the public.
Every day to protect
Serve
our friends,
the public.
neighbors, and our fellow citizens. The fact of the matter is that the law does not enforce itself. It takes men and women who are willing to risk their lives
Amen.
to enforce it.
Amen. I agree.
The men and women of CBP and ICE,
Thank you.
law enforcement, are highly trained professionals who
Highly
help this country
trained.
do this work because they want to
8
keep their
years.
and their grandkids a country that's safe and secure.
Amen.
Questions? Allie, this situation again is evolving. This situation is under investigation. Those facts will come to light. This particular incident is being investigated just like we investigate other similar incidents like we've done over the past several years. It's in the hands of professionals. Those facts will come to light.
I'm not hearing the question.
Again, this situation's evolving. This is under investigation.
So
Those facts will come to light.
More facts will come out. Okay? There'll be more
You see
investigations.
the gun here on the screen there that individual possessed. It appears
It had
semi-automatic, high capacity type, possibly a 6-hour 9mm.
with a sight on it that was connected. I think that was it. Let's skip.
All right, that was Border Patrol Command.
Here we go.
We're able to, once we're able to put it in a way that it can be on television, make sure that we have examined it from every angle.
I do believe it is the woman in the background. Is that right? You're the woman you said.
So there's multiple angles of this incident, multiple videos, which will come out
Just a short while ago, the one wearing the pink or red coat. I'm told
shortly.
that we have a statement now from President Donald Trump, the first that we have heard from him today. It says, "This is the gunman's gun loaded with 2 additional full magazines and ready to go." What is that all about? Where are the local police? Why weren't they allowed to protect ICE officers? The mayor and the governor called them off. It is stated that many of these police were not allowed to go to their job, that ICE had to protect themselves, not an easy thing to do. Why does Ilhan Omar have $34 million in her account, and where are the 10?
I don't know what that has to do, the $34 million in her account. Tens of billions of dollars have been stolen from the great state of Minnesota. It has nothing to do with shooting. This is not the place and time to post this information. I do understand, that a lot of this stuff is, anyway, it's not the time.
Billions of dollars that have been stolen from the once great state of Minnesota were there because of massive monetary fraud with billions of dollars missing and illegal criminals that were allowed to infiltrate the state through the Democrats' open border policy. We want the money back, and we want it back now. Those fraudsters who stole the money are going to jail where they belong. This is no different than a really big bank robbery. Much of what you're witnessing is a cover-up.
I believe that. I strongly believe it. It's a cover-up.
Inciting insurrection with their pompous, dangerous, and
I agree.
rhetoric. Instead, these sanctimonious political fools should be looking for the billions of dollars that has been stolen from the people of Minnesota and the United States of America. Let our ICE patriots do their job. 12,000 illegal alien criminals, many of them violent, have been arrested and taken out of Minnesota. If they were still there, you would see something far worse than you're witnessing today. Again, That is the President of the United States. That is his first post addressing the situation in Minneapolis this morning, in which Border Patrol agents shot and killed him.
Here's the handgun. I honestly don't know much about guns except the two that I have. And even then, I don't know much about guns, right? I know how to shoot them. I know how to load them. I know how to do, break them down, put them back together, how to clean. I know enough to, safely use it. However, when I carry my gun on me, it's concealed and I don't carry extra mags. I just need one magazine that's fully loaded, to protect myself, to give me a chance to escape from a dangerous situation. Having an extra mag, a little excessive. 3 magazines, that's a lot of ammunition. Why 3 magazines, Again, we have to be very careful on what we say, what we assume, right? We can't make assumptions. We have to continue letting this investigation play out. There's some assumptions earlier with the Border Patrol agent about his intent. We don't know the intent yet. We have to go through his phones to see if he talked about his plans with someone else. If he's written stuff, we have to go into his home, his place of residency, and do an investigation before we can get a complete and full story. Those protesters out there, based on the information that we are having right now, are beginning to look like idiots. I'm not saying you guys are idiots yet, but there is more going on to the story than just simply wrong place, wrong time, right? Again, it could be wrong place, wrong time, and that is simply as that. But we have to wait until all the evidence, all the information is gathered to make a proper call, on what exactly happened. We can't just read the first chapter of a book and just assume how it's going to end. We have to read every chapter, follow the story, follow the character's story, movements, the actions the character took to see how it ended, right? For us to determine if what the character did was right in the end, or was he just evil? We don't know. We're still gathering all the information. So I'm asking people to be patient, wait, do not jump to conclusions. And those leaders, they're so quick on their phones, they just want to post. All 3 leaders, Amy Klobuchar, Mayor Frey, I'm sure Oma has posted something which I have not seen at the moment yet. Governor Walz, they're all jumping to conclusions. They're all inciting violence, inciting protesters. It's not what we need, right? Let's continue.
Also, important to point out the numbers that the president is stating there is disputed.
There's one more thing I'd like to look at here before I end this video, because I did see Governor Walz go on TV. Let's see if it was in this clip. Here we go.
We'll get that from the federal government.
And Chris, like he mentioned, we're going now to Governor
Perfect.
Walz in his news conference. Let's listen in.
Thank you all for being here.
Okay, so we have him, sheriff, and National Guard. That's a new one. All right, let's see what he has to say.
Short statement, then I'll turn it over to Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson to update the situation, joined here by Hennepin County Sheriff Witt, State Patrol Colonel, and General Menke, the Adjutant General of the Minnesota National Guard. Well, as I said last week, this federal occupation of Minnesota long ago stopped being a matter of
Federal occupation.
campaign of organized brutality against the people of
Brutality. Come on.
claimed another life I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening. But I have a strong statement here for our federal government. Minnesota's justice system will have the last word on this. It must have the last word. As I told the White House in no uncertain terms this morning, the federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation. The state will handle it, period. Let me say something else, and this is critically important. All of us understand what happened this morning and the tragedy of it, and my deepest sympathies to the family of a 37-year-old.
We don't know exactly what happened yet. Okay, he's seen a couple of videos, and he may be right. It may be disgusting. It may be horrible. It may be, the federal agents, the Border Patrol agents' fault. It was a wrongful shooting. We don't know the full story yet. We have to wait to gather all our evidence. Okay, we're getting two different sides here. They've seen the videos. The agents have seen the videos. There's quite a few interviews going on, collecting some evidence, but that is it. We don't know the full story yet. We have to be patient. And what he's doing right now, I am not happy.
Minnesota resident, a lawful firearm concealed permit carrier, something that I've been lectured to by Republicans for decades. That is not only right, it's your duty. We know that the potential to further inflame tensions is high, and to Minnesotans, there's a difference. We want calm and peace and normalcy back to our lives.
No, he doesn't.
They want chaos.
No.
We cannot and we will not give them what they want by meeting violence with violence. Minnesota and our local law enforcement, as you have seen, have done everything possible to de-escalate.
No, you have not.
Local media has reported extensively on the cooperation to de-escalate this situation. Donald Trump, I call on you once again, remove this force from Minnesota. They are sowing chaos and violence. We've seen
it's the protesters caused by these guys.
But in contrast to that, on these frozen streets, what you witnessed yesterday was the best of Minnesota, peacefully exercising their First Amendment rights. And I attended in the church basement hundreds of Minnesotans from all faith packing care packages for families that have been ripped apart. Despite the horrific acts by this federal government, Minnesotans are standing up for the rule of law. They're protesting loudly and urgently, but peacefully. It must stay that way, Minnesota.
I don't know about that.
Minnesotans
it's getting worse out there.
And we're creating a log of evidence for the future prosecution of ICE agents and officials responsible for this. They're helping their neighbors. They're walking their kids to school.
Has he once sit down with ICE agents, Border Patrol agents, law enforcement, as in police officers and sheriffs and other agencies, have they once sit down at the round table and said, how can we make this easier? How can we have peace? How can everybody do their missions in a way that causes no harm? That's my question to Governor Walz. I have seen nothing of that sort. I have seen some cooperations. It took me a while to find that, but there has been some cooperations between county jails, between sheriffs and Border Patrol / ICE agents, but it's not as strong as it could be, I don't think. But they are working together, so that's good. But we need more cooperations between all agencies with the government officials and the agencies. It's that simple.
They're feeding families. I salute their courage and their restraint, and I call on all Americans to see the decency that this state is exhibiting and the horrific cruelty, unprofessional, absolute abomination that is passing for what these ICE agents are doing on our streets. They think they can provoke us into abandoning our values. well, they're dead wrong. We'll keep the peace. We'll
No,
secure
you're
the
not.
justice with our neighbors, and we'll see this
No,
occupation
you're not.
end. Minnesotans and Minnesota law
Occupation.
enforcement that continuously is being denigrated by this administration will continue to be the adults in the room, the professionals in the room, the decent human beings in the room that will keep the peace. With this, I'd like to turn it over to Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson to update you on the situation as we know it.
Thank you, Governor. I'm Bob Jacobson, Commissioner of Public Safety for the Department of Public Safety, and again, it's my honor to serve in that position. A man was shot and killed this morning in Minneapolis. I want to pause and remember what cannot get lost in this moment. Man died. His family and friends are feeling unimaginable heartbreak and trauma. And I
Yes.
know Minnesotans and I know our community will rally around
And my
this
prayers
family and
are
friends.
sent out to the families and friends.
I also understand clearly that people are upset. They're scared, they're confused. And I want to assure you that this state's public safety officials and our local law enforcement partners are doing everything in our power to get answers, to help return a sense of normalcy back to our communities. You have the right to demonstrate peacefully. We recognize that demonstrations are often driven by strong emotions, beliefs, and a desire to be heard. But please, please remain peaceful.
Yes.
I want to say it again because it is important and it is critical. Peacefully demonstrate. By
Control
doing so,
your
you help local
emotions.
authorities to get answers. You help us.
Wait
to
until
do
you
our
get all
investigations.
the
By
facts,
remaining peaceful,
all
you help
the
ensure
information.
Nobody else may be killed or injured. The thousands and thousands of people who gathered yesterday in Minneapolis proved that Minnesotans can make their voices heard peacefully, and they can do so without violence, and they can do so without destruction. And state resources are available and ready to support our local law enforcement partners as requested. And those resources include the Minnesota State Patrol, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and the Minnesota National Guard. With that, we'll stand for questions.
Governor, you've made this request before. Is there any reason to believe that it will be answered differently? Have you had any conversations with the president, with the federal government, and is there any indication that they are going to pull out or back down?
Well, I spoke twice this morning, shortly after I received the call of this shooting. I spoke with the President's Chief of Staff, and first request was to get her people out of there, to get these federal agents out of there if they were going to cause more chaos. And second call is, with no uncertain terms, that we will investigate.
Which they did pull out eventually, and the sheriffs took over. But then I think the sheriffs pulled out after it gotten too big.
This, we will not be stonewalled. What we've already seen, and you saw it this morning, before any investigation is done, you have the most powerful people in the federal government spinning stories and putting up pictures, and unrelated people who we don't know anything about, and a picture of a firearm to try and spin a narrative. And I ask Americans, this will end when enough Americans say this will end. Do I have any confidence Donald Trump will do the right thing? No, I don't have a lot of confidence Donald Trump will do the right thing. I do have.
Same goes for him. Before all this rioting, all that stuff been going on, has been fraud for the past 8 years. And do we have a lot of confidence in him to get to the bottom? No, because for the past 8 years, he hasn't. He's just, fired people that spoke about it and swept everything underneath the rug until it was too big for it, to where it exploded pretty much, thanks to few investigators that were independent.
A lot of confidence that the majority of the American people will do the right thing. And I think there cannot be very many people across this country looking right now after all the reporting that's been done, after everything that's been said under the pretense that they are here about immigration reform, and quit referring to these people as law enforcement. They are not law enforcement. We have law enforcement.
They're federal agents.
And to listen to Greg Bovino denigrate the work of our people who are out there cleaning up their mess, no.
The fact that he's not even calling them law enforcement, what are they then? That's my question. What are they to him in his eyes?
I don't have a lot of confidence that he himself will do it, but here's what I do have confidence in. There's a whole lot of Republicans, for whatever reason, cannot find their spine, but they might find the ability to know that they're not going to win another election as long as they live, unless they stand up for what's right, and stand up for the rule of law, and stand up for human decency.
And put you to jail.
So then, just to follow up, because then if that is not the case, what are the people of Minnesota supposed to do who are in the middle right now? Because if they do Stonewall and you're trying to investigate, is that force on force?
And look, I speaking to the people of Minnesota right now, I hear that scream from you, and I'll continue to plead and ask you for peace. And I know the answer is, you ask us for peace and we give it, and we get shot in the face on the streets coming out of a donut shop. We cannot give them what they want. I don't know how to say this in so many terms, to watch the madness that we've witnessed over this last week coming out of the White House and what it's doing here. My confidence is, and I say it to Minnesotans, as I've said, exercise your First Amendment rights, speak out, bear witness and document legally.
No.
But I understand the risk in that.
He understands the risk in that. You're sending people out there to interrupt a mission that the federal agents are conducting, to bring their phones up to their face to document and record, putting themselves at risk. You are putting them at risk.
And I understand the courage that it takes.
Courage? Are you kidding me? There's nothing about courage with the phone going up to an ICE agent, except for being stupid and get arrested for impeding with law enforcement, with federal agents. Who the hell is this governor? How have you had him for 8 years? Why has he been kicked out already? I hope he steps down before he causes any more damage. I want him gone yesterday. I don't care who steps up. This is not working.
Have people out there doing this. Thank God we have video, because according to DHS, these 7 heroic guys.
We will have video. Yes, we will. Thank God.
Took an onslaught of a battalion against them or something. It's nonsense, people. It is nonsense.
What happens if those videos show the federal agents were in the right? What happens then? I'm sure you're going to find something else to blame them for, except yourself. And like I said, 30 feet when you record agents, you have the zoom options on your camera. Use it. Because in one of the videos, one of the girls in pink jacket, I believe, had her phone, was recording, and was, 10, 15 feet away from the incident. She could have gotten hurt. Like I said, situations can change rapidly and very dangerous. There was, 5 shots? I could be wrong, but there was 3 to 5 shots that were, shot, right? That woman with the phone was 10 feet away. She could have been hurt. He's putting them in danger. Thank God there's only one person that was killed and not 2 or 3 or 4 people. It could have been much, much worse. Now, again, we have to wait for all the evidence to come together and get a better picture of what exactly happened. Yes, thank God there is video out there. Was it collected in a safe way? No. Could have been? Yes. And still gotten the full video.
And it's lies. So my confidence is this, Minnesotans. You know who you are, and you demonstrate it every single day, and we damn sure know who these people are. The American public knows, and this needs to be the event that says enough. Go ahead. No, I'm up front.
Blocked from accessing evidence. Has there been any suggestion that BCA is not allowed to do this investigation? Do you have officers on the ground doing the investigation right now?
The question was related to whether or not the BCA is on the ground currently with the investigation, and a reference to previous investigations that the BCA have attempted to be a part of. What I'll tell you right now is that we no longer have BCA agents or public safety, state patrol, or Minneapolis on the ground at that crime scene.
They all been removed.
What I will tell you, and not to get further into the investigation, but DHS pulled out of the scene, leaving that to Minnesota State Patrol, Minneapolis. We did not have enough resources to be able to hold that ground safely, and we had to leave that scene.
Yes.
Because of the number of people that were available, and the safety of those in the public, and the safety of our
There's probably over 1,000 already
we were able to
protesting.
get there, but
And it's
at that
only
time, we weren't
increasing.
able to hold that scene to do a crime scene investigation. I can't talk any more about those details.
That's another thing. The protesters are impeding an investigation and could be destroying evidence as we
We'll add more on
speak.
that, but the BCA is engaged and involved, and we are working at the request of the Minneapolis.
I will try update you with more information as information comes in. I like to try to keep my phone charged up during that way when things like this pop up, I can actually record and not worry about my phone dying on me. I do pray for the family of the guy. Hopefully they get through this somehow. Friends, family, whoever knew him. This is going to be tough for sure, especially right after Renee Good, just over a week ago occurred, the death of Renee Good. So, again, please go out there, protest peacefully. Do not burn down cities. Do not destroy property or cars. Do not destroy any grocery stores, because that may be the only grocery store in 3, 4, 5 mile radius that people rely on, right? Keep the place intact. And I recommend people to go home as well. Let's just wait for the investigation let's just wait for the investigation to see what exactly occurred, right? I'm sure we'll have a better picture, by the time 5 o'clock in the afternoon rolls around, right? So let's just be patient. Thank you, and we'll see you guys soon.